iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racing enthusiasts all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. The car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and racing teams. Our skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly racing series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 200,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Participate in solo races, championship seasons, and hosted in league events with AI Racing. With a rapidly expanding catalog of 70-plus cars and 85-plus tracks from real-world racing series, test your abilities with challenging computer-based competition. Additional partners include IMSA, the World of Outlaws, and Supercars, allowing members to participate in their very own Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, Sebring 12-Hour, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Hello and welcome on this, slightly belated stream. Getting things going here. But, what can we say? It is round 6 of the season. As we roll into Laguna Seca, of course the classic road course known now as the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for marketing reasons, winds its way around the hillside of the Monterey Peninsula, has long been considered one of America's best. I am Tim Cox, and for tonight, on a slightly different broadcast and alternative thing, Adam Thompson, racing it, and now he gets to talk about it with me. Adam, welcome along.
Check. Yep. Am I coming through? I am coming through. Yes. Hello, everybody. Yes, I am here with you, Tim, and it's weird to be in the second seat, but I'm glad to be. I'm gonna let you do all the hard work tonight, and I'll just sit here and watch the race that I may or may not have competed in.
You may or may not have. I mean, we'll find out. We've got qualifying. You can just, for the eagle-eye viewers, just the top right corner, you'll see a little tiny dot. That is you making your way round the circuit on your first flying lap here at Laguna Seca in qualifying. Now, because this is done for a replay, and I've had to steal it from Adams, it's there's almost like a little bit of bias going on here. This is the only car we can see. I can't see Tyler Brown, Bobby Ross, Kevin Irwin, Andy Cosick, Wesley Carper, Jimmy Howard, John Corrin, or Jake Ham.
I'm the only one you really want to see, right? So here on the second lap, I believe I will run a second.
First lap. You're on your first lap. You're halfway round at the moment. I mean, you can tell we're ever the consummate professionals and know what the fuck we're on about.
I'm sure I will run a second lap. Because I'm driving the car right now, obviously, I am definitely going to run a second lap here. And man, look at that qualifying time by Adam Thompson up there, doing pretty well, actually. A couple tenths ahead right now. Followed very closely by, I must say, Tyler Brown, and Tyler Brown is a pretty quick driver around here. But let's go on board here. Let's do a lap around here. Why don't we, Tim?
Let's do it.
All right, so here we come down the front stretch, and this is really, things get pretty interesting pretty quickly. Going into turn one, you're going to want to try to cut as much of that not so straight off as possible. You want to get as far out to the outside here as possible. The problem is the braking on these cars, the rear end wants to come around, but you want to keep it as close to the inside curb as possible. Let it wash out. Then you're going to get as far left without getting into that sand, and the sand here is nuts. Then you're going to want to get right. Watch out for that curb on the right-hand side. Wash it back out to the left, and you're going to want to stay on the curbs. That sand is no bueno. Coming now, another right-hander, almost full throttle if you get it right. Fourth gear now, all the way up to this uphill left-hander. This is where things get kind of difficult because you want to carry as much speed as you can. You're going uphill now, so you want to get as much speed. These cars do not have as much power as you would expect, even though they look like stock cars. And this is the hardest corner on the track. Going left, you don't want to catch that sausage curve. You don't want to let it run too far wide. Looks like I did it pretty well there. Now, moving on, now we have the carousel, which is very, very dangerous. It's very late braking here, but you got to get on the brakes as quick as possible. You can't see those corners. It's left, it's right, it's downhill. You just got to kind of guess and hope that you get it right. Keep it stuck to the outside. You're going to come back inside here. Then you're going far out right, back to the left. Then you're going to turn right. You got 2 more corners to go at this point. These ones are somewhat easy. Third or fourth gear there, doesn't matter. You don't really use second here that much. Now, you are going to get on the brakes here, down into second, get the car to rotate up into third, through the gears, up into fourth, and that will complete your flying lap.
There you go. That's how you do it, folks, apparently. So, rumour has it. Yeah, and look at that. Not a bad time to go faster there. 135.745, extending your lead out, but just over a tenth there. 11 hundredths of a second. Now, I can see you're gingerly making your way round, and because we haven't got obviously the ability. Oh no, the checker flag's out in the session, so that's good news. That means it's going to bypass it and move things on a little bit quicker. Also, no, that could just be for yourself, actually.
That's just we're going to have to do something here.
We are.
Yep.
We are. And for the magic of TV, we're now going to fast forward through approximately 4 minutes in time. Here we go. Ta-da! There we go.
Still.
There we go. Let's get things underway, and let's take you through the grid. Well, you see, you started on pole next to Tyler Brown in the front row. Bobby Ross and Kevin Irwin making up the second row of the grid. Addy Kosick and Wesley Carber. Someone's getting faster and faster. Interesting, that guy, considering he's only month or two onto the iRacing scene. And then we've got Jimmy Howard and John Corran on the 2 J's on row 4, with Jake Ham all by himself, of course, serving that EOL. That's why he didn't set a time in qualifying, so he could start from the rear of the grid. That's why. There we go.
Well, keep an eye out, though, for Jake. He's got 2 more of these EOLs he's got to serve, and then he's going to be back here qualifying again. And Jake is definitely someone, as you can see me playing with the pace car there a little bit, trying to get a little bit of fuel saving tactics, I'm turning the engine off here to try to get as much fuel as I can, because the fuel numbers are very close in this race. So that is something that we're going to have to watch out for, definitely, as the race goes on. You can pit about lap 4 and make it to the end, or maybe try to fuel save. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be pretty interesting to see. Now, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that, Tim, and give it back to you.
Thank you. You're just too kind. Stop doing that. It's just very kind of you. Now, See, not too far around the lap, of course, we've just coming to the absolutely iconic corkscrew, descending down through 5 stories at the initial part. By the time you reach right down the left-hand curve, so left-hand turn at the bottom of the hill, you would descended 8.5 stories, I believe it is, nearly 9 stories in fact. Such a massive drop-off, incredibly quickly. Always a challenging corner, one of the most... Actually, I think I'd say probably the most iconic corner in the whole of world's motorsport, largely due to the part of this circuit being in Gran Turismo from the very, very early days. But the Ford Mustang pace car heads in there. Round turn 1, sorry, last turn. Let's get ready to go racing here from Laguna Seca, round 6 of the championship. As we wait, we're green, we're racing, and we head down to turn 1. A lovely start by yourself there, Adam. And down to turn 1, are we going to see any carnage? Still 2x2, like the animals coming on to Noah's Ark there. Just in the background, Jimmy Howard's making up a place over Carber, slotting up the inside there in that 37. In fact, Carber dropping 2 places. Jake Ham fast up from the back in the 85, up 2 spots already in these opening stages. But Carber and Cora still side by side, like they're holding hands and then, well, giving each other a bit of a love tap there, just for good measure too.
Yeah, the opening lap of this race was one that you almost had to be aggressive. Everybody has to get in line, but you also want to be aggressive to try to get positions because it is not very easy to pass around here. As you can see, there aren't very many passing opportunities. Corkscrew is one of them, but that's not where you want to do it. You definitely don't want to do it at a turn 4 as we see a move.
Lovely stuff. Absolutely lovely stuff. It's what we come for here at XSLR. But already 1.4 seconds the lead. You pulled out. Was that a little bit of a nudge there from Tyler Brown on the 33 of Bobby Ross? Just almost assisting him with having that car turned into the corkscrew. But nearly 1 lap complete already. 30 laps this evening is the race distance. Wes Carver dropping 3 places already right down to the back of the field. And well, it is getting oh so close between so many of our drivers here in these opening stages, as Bobby Ross leads the best of the rest at the moment, but Tyler Brown, Irwin and Cossack all tucked up behind him nicely in these early stages. Jake Ham coming like a freight train in the background there, just trying to close down that gap. In fact, matching times, actually so like slightly slower on the opening lap, but that's going to come up through the part where it's just clearing a bit of traffic. Your order is Thompson from Ross, Brown, Irwin, Cossack, Ham, Howard, Corrin and Carber at the moment. I think that's a very pivotal point, isn't it, really, at the moment?
Yeah, at the moment is one thing definitely to say, and there are other issues at track here. Of course, in XSLR, they get 16x before their drive-through, and then 25x for a disqualification. So things you have to worry about here, off track, right here. You got to be super careful coming through here. You get a little too wide, as Bobby did. He may have picked up an off track there. Those are things that you really need to worry about because we do have, like you said, 30 laps.
Do indeed, as they head into the corkscrew for the second time this evening. Still remaining line astern, everyone playing it nice and easy at these early stages. And, well, you see, starting to get a bit of a gap emerge. Everyone's starting to spread out just that little bit here between this group of Ross, Brown, Irwin, Cossack, Ham as well. It's going to be interesting to see. Oh, as that's Bobby ran it in too deep, and that's going to gift Tyler Brown in the 821 second place. And, well, a characteristic mistake there from Bobby Ross in the 33.
I don't think that's the first one we're going to see here. As you can see, the tires here are just absolutely screaming. They get so hot. I mean, we're in California. It's hot in California, and it doesn't get any better. As you can see right now, you're using non-freedom units, so I don't know, Tim. Give me the numbers there.
So I'm using correct units. You can see that's what I see denotes. 28 degrees Celsius track temperature. I mean, you're only talking, what, not even mid-90s there, Adam. That's not hot.
It's not, but when you've got a car that is almost 3 tons driving around, it is not easy on these tires, to say the least. And the rear tires take the brunt of it because you've got all the weight in the front. So when you're on the brakes, those rear tires want to lock up. You can change brake bias. It doesn't help. It's just the rear tires really do start to have an issue there. And as you saw, Bobby, he got a little bit loose going into the final corner, and we're going to see that quite a bit more, I have a feeling, with now Kevin right on the back of Bobby as well. These are something we have to watch out for. And we also have to watch out for these moves on the corkscrew. I would definitely keep an eye on some of these people that are getting close when it comes to the corkscrew. You may see a little bit of, what do you say, Tim? Argy-bargy?
I was about to say, a bit of the old argy-bargy there. Jake Ham catching up to the back of Kosick. As we're heading through into the final corner there. To start onto lap 3 here, and Jimmy Howard just about holding on for dear life to the rear end. John Corrins struck well down. I think he's had a bit of an incident there. Now, that means that Wesley Carver now no longer bringing up the rear of the train. Obviously,
I would keep an eye here. Go ahead.
No, go on.
Okay.
Keep an eye on. Keep an eye on.
I will. Keep an eye on. Now start watching these cars wiggling around. You can see Kevin getting loose already into turn 2, or is that turn 3? I don't know if turn 1 is technically turn 1, but the Andretti hairpin there, and it's going to get worse and worse. You can see the cars wiggling around already, and we're only on lap 4, Tim.
It's lining itself up, isn't it, to aiding itself towards becoming a bit of a handful, isn't it? And, well, a few of our drivers are starting to struggle already with those tyres. As you said, it's not necessarily the hottest out there. It is definitely enough to affect the way those tyres are going to react to the car. Jake Ham now closing in on the back of Andy Kosick there. The only driver who's actually made progress so far. He's at 3 places. The only driver to actually make up a positive effect on their starting position at the expense of Carver and Corrin.
Yeah, and I would also keep an eye here on Andy Kosick as well. I'm not saying anything, but Kosick ran a very interesting race. Definitely trying to conserve the fuel, conserve the tires. As we know, we've all seen Andy. Andy tries to save as much fuel as possible. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. He won a dirt oval race because he was trying to save fuel. So Andy is definitely very good when it comes to saving fuel, and you can tell that he's staying with the pack, though. That is the one thing that I wanted to talk about here, is just that fuel conservation is so difficult to do, especially in these things. I mean, around here is a little bit easier, but still, I mean, the weight of these cars, it is tough to save fuel. Back up at the front, though, I will say that myself has pulled about a 2.7 second gap, but at the expense of what? My rear tires at this point, I can tell you, are screaming hot. So it gets very interesting here, and if you watch that gap between Tyler Brown, it may look big now, but it will start to come down.
When you say hot, on the chili pepper scale, what we're talking? Yeah, are we talking ghost pepper at the moment, or are we somewhere down at jalapeno or habanero?
I think we're somewhere in between jalapeno and ghost pepper at this moment. And there is one point, you can see the brakes already glowing red. At one point, it gets up. I know there's something hotter now. I think Carolina Reaper, as Tyler Brown comes into the pits very, very early.
Yeah, that is incredibly early on for him. Diving into the pit lane there. Just having a little catch up on that chat, which is now, it's decided to lose all your lovely messages that you'd posted over on YouTube. Shame about that one. Tyler Brown, as you mentioned, heading down pit road, and I'm going to fall to the back of the field. No tyres there, interestingly. Brave? Stupid? I don't know.
No, it's not. It was the right call, I'd say. The tires, to take tires in these cars, especially, I mean, right side, left sides, it doesn't matter. To take tires, you are going to spend more time in the pits because it's literally just a splash and dash. You don't need that much more fuel to get to the end around here. But The issue is you still have to pit, and it will cool your tires down in the pits for sure. But it's one of those things. Now, let's take an eye. Kevin, look at Mr. Brown there just now on pit exit. Have to see what happens to Brown, but I do believe he may have a pit lane speeding penalty.
Oh. Would it be the first? Wouldn't be the last?
No.
That's something I can tell you.
It definitely wouldn't be, and I can tell you that it is difficult. These cars have a lot of torque. You get it up into second gear coming out of the pits, and it goes quickly. And you can see myself now trying to cover Tyler Brown. So that's me into the pits. Bobby Ross, Kevin Irwin, Jake Ham, Andy Kosick, Howitt, Carber still have not pitted yet.
That'll be, we are only on lap 6 out of 30 here. As Bobby Ross carries on by there. Kevin Irwin going to head on through to Jake Ham from the back of the grid. He's made his way past Kosick and now finds himself provisionally in the podium positions. Obviously, he's going to drop one of those positions to yourself after the round of pit stops. But, yeah, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Kosick, is he going to make it work? That's the question. We're going to find out in around about 23 laps time. Here from Laguna Seca. As Tyler Brown, you mentioned, yeah, there you go. He's back in the pit lane. And that's for that speeding penalty, as he's going to carry, I'd imagine, straight on down. Or it's normally a drive-through, isn't it? I know it's a stop and go, isn't it? For 40 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, that really did hurt Tyler. Almost a pit lane entry would have been better than a pit exit penalty. When you're coming out of the pits, they get you a lot harder than if you speed going into the pit. So it's unfortunate for Tyler. Basically, has knocked him out of this race at this point. But we do need to keep an eye on still myself, Andy, Bobby, and Kevin Irwin of all people up in second place right now, Tim.
I mean, Kevin must have a nosebleed. He's that high up the standings at the moment. Careful, Kev. Careful. I'm sure he probably used some form of cheese to stem the flow of blood coming out of his nose that he's currently experiencing from being so high up. Just seeing the background there. I mean, yes, Jake Hammer's caught Andy Kosick, and he's passed him. But again, he's not letting him get away. And if it seems so he's, playing the fuel conservation race here, Adam. This is working, isn't it? At the moment.
Yeah, this could get very interesting here. And also, while Andy's trying to play this fuel conservation game, he's also keeping his tires cool. And that is the biggest thing. You can see Jake has moved up quite a few positions, obviously from the back of the pack all the way up to third place. But at what expense to his tires has he done that? Meanwhile, Andy, lifting probably at 500, 400 meter boards, is coasting through corners, not putting nearly as much stress on these tires, which will help him in the long run.
So let's ride on board and have a little listen in and see how much he is lifting and coasting there. Bit of a mistake from Jake there, just kicking up a bit of dirt. I just caught in the, in the horizon there, but wow. That's lifting and coasting. I mean, literally just cruising around. Look, he's out for a Sunday drive here around the corners. Trying to keep those tire temperatures in check by doing so. But is it fast enough? That's the thing. Can he save and negate those pit lane, that time he's going to spend heading down pit road, if he can make this go the distance? That's the big question, isn't it?
It is, and you have to think the pit lane times, I'm sure you can see them, Tim. I can't. They were around 40 to 45 seconds, so it's a lot. It's a lot of time to come through, but can he gain that back? That's the question. You've got 4 laps to gain back of fuel. Ooh, as he gets a little loose going into turn 1. Can you gain 4 laps of fuel back on the racetrack?
I think, well, it's got to be surely. It's got to be possible, otherwise, he's not a daft old fool. He wouldn't do it otherwise. So, yeah, I think this is going to be possible. He's, a wise man. And a wise man once said, if you can do it, then do it.
That's very true, and
Do you know what knowledge
is going.
I mean, he has knowledge and wisdom. Do you know what knowledge is, Adam? Knowledge is
I
knowing
do.
that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing that it doesn't go in a fruit salad.
Apparently, I don't have enough wisdom to get that joke.
It's not a joke, it's true. If you ever put a tomato in
Okay.
a fruit salad, there you go. It's a fruit.
I've never. Who eats
what-
fruit salads, Tim?
Well, as they say, you don't win friends with salad.
Exactly.
And on that bombshell, talking of salad, here's Ham. Getting
Yeah,
into
so
the,
Jake. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so Jake Ham here coming out of the final corner on another lap. And you can see that he has gained all those positions. But again, Andy Cossack is still hanging on to the back of Jake and catching a little bit of slipstream while he's at it. This is exactly what Andy needs right now. He's catching some slipstream, able to lift even more because he's got a car in front of him punching a hole through that air.
Yeah, Jake Ham, that 85, that lovely Turtles livery there. Trying to be the hero in the hard shell for Cossack right now. We can see just how hard he's pushing. Kicking up the dirt there on corner exit, getting sideways, drifting it through the corner. Andy Cossack still out for his Sunday drive there in that 50. Into the pits because Wesley Carver from 7th place. Any tyres going on there? No. Oh, yes, there you go. Bit of delay reaction. The right's going on at least. As in the foreground there, John Corrin going on by. Going to see the lefts go on as well. Let's find out. There goes Tyler Brown. Yeah, we're going for all four here. And you can see the amount of time it's cost him, due to being a little bit off pace as well. Bobby Ross heading, well, he's already cleared the corkscrew now for the last couple of quarters on the track. Carver only just heading out of pit road, but he is right down the bottom end of pit road, so sailing on through.
Yep, so we do still have this battle between Jake Ham and Andy Cossack, and Andy playing the long game here. I would not expect Andy to try to make a move on Jake. Jake has made all of those moves, but you saw him drifting around turn 3. It's just the absolute sheer amount of pressure he's put on those tires. They're starting to give up. It's all heat. Yeah, we got in the chat, by the way, tire management is a factor from Andy saying, and then we got Fred saying, okay, glad you're up. Go number 50, most meant. And also a big thing, there are no pit speed limiters on this car, but XSLR does allow for you to use any types of aids that you want to. So you can still have a pit speed limiter on this car if you want it. I don't suggest it, but you can have it. And then we got Andy saying, yeah, Wesley likes fresh tires. And I will say that the fresh tires did help Tim, but they didn't help the 20 seconds you lost in pit lane.
That is understandable. Still, look at this gap, though. Half a second. It's impressive. It is genuinely impressive the way he's able to stay up on the back of him. 1/3 distance complete of this race already. Well, just over, in fact. Lap 11 out of 30 we are currently on. And already, you know, we've had 3 drivers who've taken their pit stops. Yourself, Tyler Brown, who lies in 8th, and Carver, who lies in 9th. Although Brown and Carver both 1 lap down each. Pretty much. Yeah, yes, they are. Actually, no, I take that back. No, they're not quite. But they're not far off being a lap down. Each of them as, well, interestingly there, Cossack now closing in and also looking a lot more aggressive in comparison to Jake Ham. We'll stick with this one down to turn 1. We've got a couple of other moves happening. Again, a bit closer. Tyler Brown catching up onto the back of John Corrin there. So you head up towards the corkscrew. Going to flick it in and flick it on down there. So you really see the elevation change.
Angle.
I know. That's what I bring. Sluts it up the inside there. Spectacular style. Lovely, lovely stuff. And that's surely going to be Tyler Brown heading on into the distance. Also, we've got now Howard versus, well, yourself here. And if you could impart future wisdom back to 7 days younger Adam Thompson, what would you tell him at this stage of the race, sat behind Jimmy Howard?
I would be screaming at Jimmy Howitt, as I was 7 days later, to get the fuck out of my way, please. I've got somebody to go catch, and Jimmy did oblige.
There you go, you see. You ask, and you can receive. That's the kind of guy Jimmy Howard is.
Here's what I've done at this point, Tim, and I can't speak for any of the other drivers on the track. The amount of tire that I've used, and I keep saying it, Tim, because it is that important. The amount of tire that I've used at this point. Do what?
You're getting tired of saying it.
I'm getting tired of saying tires. Yes, I am. But it is one of those things that it just is that important around here, and it will come back at the end of the race, and you'll see at the end of the race how things get, and it gets pretty wild as you watch some of these drivers. Watch everybody but Andy Kosick coming through turn 2. Everyone is starting to really slide the rear end of this car out, just trying to hang on to it.
Treading into the danger zone, you could say, with their tyres. See what I did there? Marvellous. Yeah, I mean, see, this is a double-edged sword, because actually, through this fuel compensation game that Kosick's trying to pull here, now whether it works or not, he's actually keeping his tyres a lot fresher. He's keeping those tyre temperatures down. In a weird way, it plays into his hands. Going into the gravel trap, that's really not going to help.
That helps as well. Yeah.
Not anymore.
No, I mean, if you drive off track, I mean, of course it's going to cool your tires. I'm sure Andy exploiting any type of rule.
No, not anymore. They got rid of that after the whole Spa incident a couple of years ago.
Dang it.
Yeah.
But no, it is Andy keeping those tires as cool. Highway to the danger zone, Andy says in the chat. But yeah, no, it is keeping those tires very cool as he's trying to save fuel, and it is amazing what he's been able to do. Obviously, Jake Ham gets away a little bit there as he does drive off, but that's okay. I mean, Jake Ham is not Andy Kosick's race right now. The race win is Andy Kosick's race.
Wow. Are you imparting some knowledge there almost of what might happen, or is it just you predicting of what might happen? I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know what the result is, but what I can tell you is that we're nearly a half race distance, lap 14 out of the 30 at present. Bobby Ross as well, he's just checking out here, 33, he's long gone, 6.7 seconds ahead. Second place Kevin Irwin, who on out and out pace, I tell you what, one of the most improved drivers in XSLR history. He's only running about last time around, example, half a second slower, and his best lap is only 2/10 down on Ross. That's a real turnaround for Kevin, who would have been someone bumbling around right at the back of the field. A couple of years, less than probably a couple of years ago. As you can see, he's really excited. He's really happy. He's going to impart wisdom. So much so, he doesn't know what to say. I don't know. Come along for the fun. Oh, he's told me in his chat, I'm going for a wee. I'll see you in 3. Well, that's not what he's put. He's put got a pee. But you know, either way. Either way, so Ross still leading this one. Working out an absolute treat for him at the moment. But it's always the case. How much longer can he hold on to this one? No, there's occasionally, not so much anymore. Can be a bit of a mistake in Bobby Ross. But is that going to be within him tonight? Or are we completely and utterly safe in the knowledge? Let's turn that down a little bit. Getting a little bit loud there, the iRacing audio. Apologies about that one. And
I am back, and I apologize.
He lies like a cheap Chinese watch as Kaba facilitating the pass there of allowing Ross to come around and leaping out the way like a salmon almost.
I see what you did there. I don't know if Daniel Salmon is watching this race, but that was a good one there, Tim.
Wasn't even intended. I didn't even think about it.
But anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if we can co-commentate ever again, Tim, because this isn't working out that great. But anyways, back to Bobby Ross.
It's, it's fine for some of us. It's just, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. And right now we've got a couple of gunslingers in the form of, yourself, who's starting to make a bit of progress here, setting the pace of anyone. Fastest person on the... Actually, no, not fastest person on the track, quite. I was going to give you that title. In fact, last time around, it was this guy, Tyler Brown, in 8:21, who was the fastest guy on the track. Only by about 800ths of a second over yourself there. But you are making progress on the most mint that is Andy Kosick.
Yeah, and I do want to mention, if Tyler Brown would not have had those speeding penalties, this would have been an all-out battle, and that is unfortunate for the number 821. But it is something that you've got to watch out for, and that's why the pit lane speeding penalties and the forced pit stops is why we do that, because you do need to know how to pit, and it adds a little bit more, little bit more drama into the race, if you will. But with that being said, yes, I am pushing. I've got Andy Kosick about 14 seconds ahead now. And the problem is, he's 14 seconds ahead, and I've got 14 laps to go get him.
Now, that means you need to make up a deficit of a second per lap. Last time around, that was only 6/10. That's B- territory. Must try harder.
It is. It definitely is. And that's something that we got to keep an eye on here. Bobby Ross, by the way, let's mention him out there in the lead, has yet to pit. Him and Kevin Irwin both have not pitted. So I don't know exactly what Bobby's plans are here, but this could get a little bit interesting as well, Tim.
Yeah, you do know what his plans are because you saw them, you were here, you got to experience it live. I only immediately get it from a replay standpoint. That's largely power and sleep related. As John Corrins had a bit of an incident or something. Oh no, just pulling a bit of a tomfoolery away around me. But this gap's compressed down a little bit. Also, Kevin Irwin losing a bit of time. He's just come off track ever so slightly, ran it a little bit wide. Now that gap has compressed down to 1.7 seconds between himself and Jake Ham. Kosick still up, as you can say. Still in there. Still in the fight. Still in with a chance.
He is in the fight. Now, Bobby Ross, obviously, is 10 seconds ahead of Kevin. 11 seconds, almost 12 seconds ahead of Jake. He is 14 seconds really ahead of Andy Kosick here, and that is the big thing that we need to watch out for, are these gaps. Is Bobby Ross going for a move, a lap on John Corrin here? Kevin Irwin in the pits.
Well spotted. There he is, heading down pit road. That's going to allow Jake Ham on by and Andy Kosick. One already picked up for the 50 of Kosick as he attempts to go this without stopping. And we've only got 12 laps remaining, though, Adam. So as every lap goes by, it grows his confidence that this is working. It's going to happen. I mean, look, I'm staying in contact with who is now second, the 85 of Jake Ham. It's working bit by bit. It's the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle are all coming together, and he's starting to see that final picture in the puzzle without having to look at the box.
Yeah, this is working out very, very well for Andy Kosick if he's still fuel saving, and that's the thing. Does he have enough to make it to the end? Has he saved enough? Is anybody going to be able to challenge him? All things that Andy needs to worry about here. Does he? Yes, he can save. Of course you can save. You can lift and coast wherever you want to on the track. But the question is, can you save enough if you come under pressure? Then what? Then what do you do?
Excellent question. And then have you got enough to fight right when it comes to it right at the end, when it all matters? So many questions.
It is. One thing we do need to mention as well about the iRacing system when it comes to fuel. It does average out your laps. So Andy has been saving now for 18 laps. So it will average his 18 lap pace. So if he does have to start to push, will that give him enough when he has to start to push to get to the end? Because his iRacing calculations are only giving him averages for the last 5 to 10 laps. So that is when things get a little bit weird here. Yes, you can use different overlays and stuff, but it still goes off of your iRacing account. It still pulls off of iRacing statistics. So yes, right now, Andy may be saving enough, but can he save enough when, not if, but when he comes under pressure?
Wow, that gap's still at 13 seconds between himself and you. Likewise as well, up to Ross as well. Look at that. Our top 4 positions separated by exactly the same distance. Near us, damn it, 13 seconds apiece between Ross and Cossack, Cossack and Thompson, Thompson and Howard. The rest of the field letting us down when it comes to that pattern of data.
It hasn't been the best race for some of these drivers. And as you can see, Wesley Carber back there, about 43 seconds back. And I will tell you, Wesley is new to iRacing. I'm glad he is still here hanging out, racing with us. But there were some track limit issues with Wesley. He had to come in to serve a drive-through for his 16X. But still doing a great job. I do believe John Corin was probably in the same issue. And I do want people to understand that this league is not just one type of car. We run all 4 different series of racing. So it takes a massive skill set to be able to do that week after week, series after series.
Well, I can't hear a word you're saying, Adam, only purely because, and I'm just going to painfully have to agree with you because my audio mixer has decided to just pixelate out. We're just going to go for a quick reboot while we're still watching the action. So I may die very, very briefly so I can hear everyone again. One moment. There we go. I'm back in the room. I can hear everyone again now. Don't know what I've just agreed to, but, you know, I've probably agreed to far worse in life. That is for sure. So we've got sit rep here. 10 laps remaining of this race. Adam, have you got enough of the bag? It's over a second now per lap, that delta between yourself and Andy Cossack. But we also need to consider... Well, I do, because I don't know what's going to happen. Now, 33 of Bobby Ross as well up front.
That is someone we need to watch right now as Corin goes for a spin, doesn't collect anybody else, gets out of the way, okay. But keep an eye on this 33 car here. The amount... Let's talk about fuel saving again. Is he saving? It's tough to believe he is 13 seconds ahead of Bobby Ross, but Tim, ahead of Andy Cossack, but crazier things have happened in the Cross Series League racing.
Well, I mean, if you look at his lap times, Adam, there's only a tenth between the pair of them. They're running a very similar pace. And I tell you what, we'll hear from this part of the circuit, won't we, if he is saving. Certainly if he's saving heavy. Let's listen in. We'll run on board.
That doesn't sound like a whole lot of saving to me, Tim.
I was about to say exactly the same thing. Another driver yet to stop as well. Jimmy Howe at the 37. Well, as I say that, boom, pops into pit road. There he is. In that Pennzoil liveried street stock. Heading down pit road.
This is another thing I want to mention. So as Jimmy comes into these pit stops, I'm not saying I know what happens or anything, but Jimmy takes tires on this pit stop. Jimmy will come out ahead of someone. and I think his name is probably Adam Thompson. I want you to watch that gap between Adam and Jimmy. Adam could not close him down. Jimmy had fresh tires on. That is the magic of tires in these cars. Track may not be hot, but Andy, as well as saving fuel, was able to save tires as well.
Yeah, it's getting cooler out there. 26 degrees Celsius, of course, metric, reigning supreme when it comes to temperature. Low 80s. I mean, that is, you know, in freedom units. Oh, a bit of a lock up there. And again, for good measure, through the corkscrew. You mentioned about those tire temperatures. That is definitely not helping it whatsoever. As Ross, 137.9. First driver, as things are running at the moment, it's been the 137. So I'd say that Tyler Brown as Jimmy Howard heading out of pit road. Wes Carver heading back in again. There goes Cossack on by. He is a lap ahead. We mentioned about yourself. Yeah, there you go. Coming down pit road. So the front straightaway. Well, say straightaway. It's a great big curve in it. As we head down to what is, well, everyone considers turn 1. It's actually officially turn 2 here on the circuit. And there you go, Jimmy Howe out in front of yourself.
Yeah, so Jimmy is now a lap down behind Andy, between me and Andy right now, and that gives you a pretty good idea of how far Andy is ahead. And you can see Andy's actually pulled a bit of a gap now on me. I'm only 11 seconds, or I'm more than 11 seconds now behind Andy, and this is when things get a little bit interesting here. Bobby still has yet to pit. What is Andy thinking at this moment? Does Andy think that Bobby is saved enough to get to the end?
I don't know. He said if the Sigic is Andy Cossack, he'll be running, you know, ploughing his own furrow out there. As how the hell did I manage to splash water from there? I don't know. That was a bit weird. I got water in my eye as I went to take a sip of my drink. But still lots to play for. You know, there's still 8 laps of this remaining. You know, it's just over 1.5 minutes per lap, like 1 minute 40. You know, we're still talking a good quarter of an hour of racing left to go. A lot could happen.
A lot could happen. A lot might happen. But I will tell you this. We do need to mention one thing as well. We do give extra points out for XSLR. Cross Series League Racing gives points out for the fastest lap in the race. Now, if it is during dirt ovals or dirt roads, it is during the heat or the actual feature race. You get an extra point for fastest lap, and you also get an extra point for qualifying in first place. So, Adam Thompson, I'm talking about myself in third person now. I got first place in qualifying. That gave me an extra point. Right now, though, Tyler Brown has stolen that point away. He is the fastest driver right now with the fastest lap. It doesn't matter where he's at. Those points might come in handy at the end of the season.
And we all know points means prizes.
They absolutely do. But with that being said, you can see now Kevin on the back of Jake Ham. Don't know. I think Jake must have just come in. But Kevin, we need to talk about Kevin. Kevin's run a great race so far. Kept it clean.
Yeah, so 7 is it's on course here, and well, it's looking like a bit more of a fresher car. Closing in on the back of Jake Ham here.
I have to wonder how much Jake cutting through that traffic, pushing as hard as he could, hurt him and hurt his chances, hurt those rear tires. Those are all things that you have to think about. These cars, you don't expect them to be hard on tires, but look at Kevin. He almost goes around.
How did he save that one? How? I mean, many poo must have shot out of his eye at that moment. But he's kept the gap at right about 1.2 seconds. A lovely quote there from a man who should be Prime Minister of the UK. There was a petition to make him that. Sir Jeremy of Clarkson.
Jeremy Clarkson should be the leader of a lot of the things you guys have going on over there. He needs to be an F1 team principal. He needs to be the prime minister. There are a lot of things that Jeremy Clarkson needs to be, but right now he's a farmer. But who cares about Jeremy Clarkson right now? Because we've got Kevin Irwin closing back in on Jake Ham again.
I mean, look, he's taken the space of 3 corners, Adam. He's taken 6-7 tenths out of Ham, who's Well, that 85 is just got nothing to respond with. It's a sitting duck practically there. And Kevin Irwin is stalking his prey right now.
It is unfortunate. Kevin, I mean, this is what I'm talking about with the tires. Jake must be worried about his tires. Kevin's not. Kevin is starting to drift. Kevin is doing everything he can to take fourth position away from Jake Ham. Let's see what happens in the carousel.
If there was ever an epitome of YOLO, Kevin Irwin is that right now. He's throwing everything he's got at this, including the kitchen sink and some more. As we head up the hill, well, four-wheel drift there. And out onto the gravel. As they crest the hill. Let's take a look from the drone. Gets it slowed down in time. As they drop down, a much neater and tighter line there from Jake Ham on corner exit. He lives to fight another day and ekes out on a few more attempts as well over Irwin, but you know you can bet your bottom dollar he's going to be back and he's going to come back fighting hard on this next lap.
I don't know if I've ever seen anybody drive a car like Kevin Irwin has driven this street stock for the past 2 laps. He is letting it all hang out, and this is amazing driving, I must say, by Kevin to be driving it this hard and still be this close to Jake Ham.
I mean, Jake Ham driving in his mirrors, he's got to, because as soon as he gets away...
Look at him.
Well,
look at Jake going defensive into turn 1.
I know. He doesn't believe he's got the car underneath him. And Kevin's just, well, he eats him up for breakfast in every single corner. A gobble out of, out of the time differential between the pair of them. It's like, there's
Comes
a 10th.
Kevin.
There's a 10th. And here we go. No, surely not. Right around the outside. Trying to brake late. He sends it in deep. And he keeps that car alongside. Just has to back out as the corner just tightens up on exit. Ran out of room. But that is already a big message of intent to Jake Ham of, look, I'm here. And I'm going to make your life absolute
Going into carousel
misery.
now, Tim. This is where things could get very interesting, though. Look at Kevin trying to go to the inside. Gonna try to go to the inside. He does get it woed up in time. Carousel is a spot where you've got to be very careful on overtaking because it is a blind corner. You don't know when the car ahead is going to brake.
No, you don't, especially with these cars because they don't have any rear brake lights. A few of the drivers have painted them on. Not that they actually do anything, they're just there for a showpiece. Looking for the switch back here. Don't think he'll quite pull that one off. No, runs it in deep. Trying to keep that momentum up in these cars. Is Irwin right now in that 7. And the 85 yet again on the run down towards turn 1. Looking vulnerable. Here we go.
Defensive again. Yeah, Jake is going very defensive into turn 1, Tim. Very defensive.
He's got to. He's got no other option to keep Kevin Irwin at bay. He's got to say, right, if you want to come past me, you got to do it the hard way. You got to earn well.
Oh, my goodness, Kevin Irwin.
He may as well call that car the General Lee, honestly. The way that's being driven. I mean, is he stolen that from someone? Because he is driving it like he stole it. Whoa. This is all going on. Look who's down pit road.
Oh, no. And yet the turns have tabled. Bobby Ross into the pits. That's going to leave Andy Kosick. He is 950, 40, 30, 800 feet away. Bobby's got to get in and out. He's not going to be able to do it. Andy Kosick is going to assume the race lead as Bobby's still in the pits.
He hasn't even moved off. Oh, no, something's happened to Kevin Irwin. There you go. It's all gone wrong.
Not saying that this is on a replay, Tim, but it might be on a replay. And we might want to go back and watch what exactly happens between Jake Ham and Kevin Irwin going into the corkscrew, and we can rewatch this again.
We can do. Now, it might break. So if we're so close to the end, we'll have a look at it post-race. I'm going to stick a marker next to it. We'll come back and we'll revisit that one later. So we've only got, 3 laps, 4 if you include this one, And look at this, 10.3 seconds in the lead. Bar, complete disaster. This is going to work out for Kosick. You can't catch him.
I think we might be right here. I think Andy Kosick has found a way to play the fuel game perfectly. This is insane driving by Andy Kosick, the only driver to not pit this race, able to inherit the lead from last position almost. Let's talk about that as well. Andy Kosick, an absolutely amazing race.
Yeah, of course, that's a very valid point, isn't it? You know, I didn't have the best of time in qualifying, and sometimes you've got to get creative, haven't you? You've got to think your way around this race. Okay, I haven't got the out-and-out pace to make this work. How can I play the cards to my favour? And what he's done is like, right, okay, I think I can make this. He's hedged his bets. They could do the no-stop race. And he's right on course for it. Look at this. 9.6 seconds. So you've taken a bit of time out of him, Adam, but I mean, we've what? 3 if you include the lap he's currently on. Left to go. That's now over 3 seconds. And then, even if you catch him, you're still going to get past him.
Still got to get by him. Exactly. And that's something that I have clearly struggled with this season, is getting by drivers. I have taken 2 penalties trying to get by drivers this season so far. So, yeah, if I get to him, chances are, and Andy probably knows this, I'm going to move him. I'm going to have to. Got to get by him. Got to win this race. But I've got to get to him first, and it is 9 seconds, Tim. I don't think it's possible.
No, that clock is running out. The tick and the talk. It's looking like it's going to be no more for yourself here. Roll it into the corkscrew exactly the same way he's done lap after lap. Just trying to keep the consistency up here. Keep that momentum up and keep that fuel saving up. Kosick is going to bring this one home in Victory Road.
Now, I must say, there may be a bit of a logo somewhere on Andy's car. Maybe not. I can't remember. But I do believe that Andy is definitely shouting out. Obviously, Most Meant Racing, that is his racing team. Andy said in the chat, he is still saving at this point. He knows he is still close. 4 laps may have seemed easy on the start. It's not. You can see, look at the amount of exhaust, the blowback, the backfire coming out of that car. He's lifting at the 500-meter board. Still doesn't think he's got enough.
Just trying to cover off all the bases right now is Kosick. He's come this far with his strategy. He doesn't want it to fail on him right at the end. And there's not long left. It's starting to come to his favor, isn't it?
If this strategy works out for Andy Kosick, I will say this may be a first in Cross Series League Racing for somebody to be able to run a whole race without having to pit. Only Andy Kosick has been able to do this, and there was another driver in here as well, who the name escapes me at this point, that was able to do it in the dirt ovals. But Andy is the only one left, still racing with us, still able to fuel-saving God. He's going to make the league admins have to do something else to keep him from not having to pit. Andy Kosick, just an unbelievable race.
You can tell he's still, as you said, still saving. That time is starting to diminish between himself and you. But it's still a whopping 8.7 seconds. As he's got, well, 1 tour of Laguna Seca left to do, plus the final corner. So that was, I think that's Tyler Brown making his way past Jake Ham off camera. Yes, it is. That move done. Locked in, locked on, and just gutted for Kevin Irwin. I mean, that was a great battle he was having with Jake Ham, and it's just all fallen apart for him. There you go, white flag in the air. 1 lap left remaining here from Laguna Seca, round 6. Season 8 of XSLR. Just going to bring this one home.
Now, this last lap gets a little bit interesting here. Let's see what happens to Andy Kosick coming into the corkscrew here. Things could get a little bit spicy between him and myself.
Look, you just watch it. 8 seconds. It's going to dip into the 7 seconds very, very shortly. Kosick knowing time is on his side here, but doesn't want to slow up too much. He'll lose that momentum, that natural rhythm that he's built up across the course of the previous 30 laps. God, it definitely would be a rhythm if it was 70 laps, like I was going to say initially. But heading up to the corkscrew. Here we go, Adam. Is it going to be as dramatic as you said?
Oh, was that a cut?
Let's find out.
Was that a cut? Did I hear a cut? No, I didn't hear a cut. Andy Kosick did not cut out. Andy Kosick wins this race. I was trying to get you a little bit enthused there, Tim, but yeah, you didn't take the bait. No, that was great driving by Andy. He is going to drive it home.
Well, I was starting to half panic there that I'd missed something and hadn't heard it. Wesley Carver back into the pits, all in the material, because Kosick rolling this one down the hill, rolling it home. Look at, I mean, you threw everything at the kitchen sink. You can see you in the background, but he rounds the final corner, plants the foot on the accelerator. He's done enough. Andy Kosick wins at Laguna Seca with the epic fuel strat. Congratulations to him.
Unbelievable fuel saving. Obviously, myself coming home second. Bobby Ross, though, able to take third position from Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown with those mistakes. It's unfortunate for Bobby, or for Tyler, to have that pit exit speeding penalty, but Bobby Ross going to be taking third place here. That's going to help him in the points, as he's already the leader in XSLR. Jake Ham about to come up across the line in fourth position.
A great drive
Tyler
from the back
Brown
as well, conceding his own. He's bound for qualifying, so yeah, serving that penalty. Wow, look at that. Would you look at that?
What this does for the points, though, Tim, that will bring things a bit closer with Andy Kosick winning this race. Bobby Ross coming home in third right now, the points leader. I'm coming home second. Tyler Brown coming home fifth. The points are starting to heat up here. We're not even halfway through the season yet.
You're not wrong there. You're not wrong indeed. Congratulations, Andy Kosick. Let's just, we'll have a look at the results here as my chair squeaks into life. And, well, everyone across the line now, just still waiting on Wes Carver to come across. There he goes. Kosick still I mean, look at this, still limping it around. I think, though, it might have eventually died on him, though.
I may or may not have had to push him. Yep, no, he's still driving. Kosick is still driving, trying to get to the start-finish line here for a picture.
Rolling it on home. Fully out of fuel. Oh, there you go. Re-engages the engine. Gives it enough beans just to get to the start-finish line. Congratulations to him. There you go. Everyone joining him. Yourself on the left.
Can you join the interview waiting? We're doing the broadcast from last week. If you can join it, that'd be great, so we can talk about the race.
Okay. We can. I'll tell you what. Let's
just hop in on your phone. It's no big deal. We're doing it right now. Ah, shit. All right, hurry up. Bye.
Could have told you. I would have muted that, so it might have looked like half a professional, but...
Yeah, my bad. I am so sorry. I unmuted my mic. I was trying to get Bobby in here for the interview waiting. Oh, and there comes Kevin. But yes, that was an unbelievable race by Andy Kosick. Did exactly what he needed to do. Won the race. And Tim, I think we have to change. Some Discord servers here.
We do. Well, while we're doing that, I will. I'll go through the results. Andy Kosick running out victor here today. Congratulations to him. The epic strat working an absolute treat. Second place, Adam Thompson. Yourself. Bobby Ross coming home third. Your championship leader coming into this round. Jake Ham, great drive from the back end. Lots against him. And he'll be happy with securing fourth place. Tyler Brown in fifth. Erwin in sixth. Howard seventh for the first driver's lap down. Carver down one lap. And John Corrin retiring the car on lap 19 out of the 30. Let's have a look back to a couple of incidents that happened. This is what happened to Bobby Ross, who had a bit of an incident. I think heading down into turn 1. Yes, it is. Well, turn 2, actually. As much as to give it by its official corner numbers. And, well... Oh... too much mustard on
Yoink.
that one. Got away with it. Got away with it, though. Wes Carver had an incident late on. Let's have a look at what happened to him. Coming into the final turn. Approaching a bit fast from my liking, and there you go. Just dipped a wheel and spun himself round. Kevin Irwin, well, you spoke about this one. What happened? This is earlier on when he was battling with Jake Graham. Locked it up and around he goes. Avoids contact. Gets away with it, but it cost him so dearly in terms of the time. There we go. Right, let's have a chat to some of our drivers. First up, well, there we go. We'll move across to Andy Kossick. Already been dragged down. I've only got to do half the work tonight. It feels a bit wrong. But Adam, I'll let you speak to our winner here today.
Once I knew I could do that number, I decided that I would qualify at the same speeds. That way I wouldn't get run over at the beginning. I'd be pretty well placed in the field. And of course I did some saving like you did on the pace lap too, a lot of coasting. I auto clutch this car most of the time, but I do have the pedal wired in so I could shut it off to save money on the pace lap, or save fuel on the pace lap. Fuel is money.
Well, that's
in this
also
race.
money. Yeah, fuel
exactly.
is money. So yeah, either way, you got the dub, and I did everything I could to get to you. And let's talk about also something I didn't think about, and something I was able to watch on the broadcast is, yeah, you saved fuel, but that also in turn helped you save your tires. I was closing that gap after I had come in, but I had just gotten my tires so hot. What has that? I mean, how did that help you at all towards the end? Did you have to push it all? Did you think I was going to be able to get to you?
You know, when you came out of the pits, I figured sure you'd come and get me. And, you know, my goal here was really to just try to get on the podium. So obviously you want to win, but I figured if you caught me, I wasn't going to fight it. I was just going to let you go because I'm on fuel saving strategy. I was monitoring the fuel quite a bit. So I had enough, as you could see, to make it around the track barely one more time and then do about a 3-second burnout after the photo op. But so I just had resigned myself to, if you caught me, that would be it. But then as it turned out, like the gaps, you know, at the beginning you were making up more time, but then it was pretty similar. And I was really surprised that I was able to do that. The tire wear issue was a bonus for me. I wasn't really anticipating that part of it.
Yeah, neither was I until, of course, now. But congratulations, Andy. We got Nürburgring coming up next week. Are you, how are you feeling about that?
You know, I haven't done half of that track. Well, maybe a quarter of that track, right? The Grand Prix part. So I'm learning it, and I don't think it's a good fuel saving track. So just gonna have to drive through that one. I've run it before, so I feel pretty good about my chances to do well at that. But you know, that track can kill you at any time. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all comes out.
It will be a fun race. Andy, anybody you want to thank or shout out before we let you go?
Sure. Want to, say hey to my pops who tunes into all the broadcasts, and thank my wife for letting me participate in all this monkey business all the time. And you guys for putting on a good show.
Awesome, Andy. And I will apologize to Andy's pops as I'm trying to call Bobby. I may have said a few curse words to try to get him into the chat. So, Andy, if your pops is watching still, I apologize for that, but congrats on your win.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
That was Andy Kosick there in first place. Tim, have you found the second place finisher by any chance?
I might have done. I might have done indeed. Largely through yourself giving me a bit of a call. But here is Mr. Bobby Ross. Well, Bobby.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Whoa, you got this all wrong, Tim.
Did I?
Bobby didn't finish second.
Oh, no, sorry, no. Apologies. It's me.
Get out of here, Bobby. We'll talk to you in a minute.
No, no. We'll go further as Bobby's here. As we've got him, we'll come to.
All right. Well, Bobby's back. We'll talk to Bobby now.
I was like, wait a minute. I'll gladly take second place.
Well, your number's 33. You came third. I think all the stars are lining a little bit there. All the threes. How much do you think this is a little bit of a missed opportunity versus a solid result? Which way are you swaying?
Ooh, I would say solid opportunity. Obviously, it's not how I want to, be extending my championship lead because of what happened with Tyler Brown during the race. But I'll always take a podium spot any day of the week. And my hat's off to Andrew for saving all that fuel to win the race. My hat's off to him. And good job for Adam on getting second place. So right now, I think it's just between me, Adam, and Andrew right now in the championship. So still got a ways to go. Should be fun.
There's still a long way to go. Still a lot of racing still to do. As Adam mentioned during the broadcast, not at the halfway stage yet of the season. But having said that, a commanding lead at the front. You still got to feel surely quite confident rest of the season ahead. You're not exactly weak on any of the stages left of the dirt sections. We've got both the dirt sections coming up, and still second half of the road as well to do.
Oh, I feel pretty confident going into the dirt portions of the schedule, along with the last two races for the road courses. I believe the next race would be at the Nordschleife. That one should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see how that one goes down.
Definitely. Likewise as well. Well, congratulations, Bobby. Third place here today in the 33. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you to Slow Motion Broadcasting for broadcasting all these races for Cross Series League Racing. You guys are the best.
Oh, thanks, Bobby.
Wow, 50% of that statement's correct. I'll let you decide which part. Right, on to second place interview. Oh, no, let's change things around. There we go. Roses are red, violets are blue. I like sim racing, and Adam, so do you. Second place.
Yeah, it was great. It really... Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to... You can sort of carry on. I was just going to say, you're a bit gutted that you didn't think about the strategy that Andy did.
No, I thought about its strategy. I didn't think there was any way he was going to be able to pull it off. I mean, we talked about it before the beginning of the race, and I had no hope at all for Andy to win this race. Clearly, I need to start listening to Andy more. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. He beat me fair and square, and to be honest, I may have a little bit of a case of the red butt right now because I thought I had that race in hand after about lap 3.
And it just didn't work out that way, did it? I mean, having said that, Nordschleife coming up. Bobby looking forward to it. Same with Andy as well. Fancy your chances around there?
I hate that track, Tim. I did that track for the league drivers. The league drivers voted that track in. And it is one of the tracks that I despise the most. It's not even a real racetrack anymore. They might run it, but it's more of a road than it is a racetrack. And it's just one of those things that I'm going to have to get some practice on. I'm going to do it this week. We're going to be hosting some sessions. People got to be good around there. It's still going to be the same incident limits as well. We have to talk about 16X and 25X. So there are some things that we're going to have to deal with. Yes, it's only 5 laps, but it's going to be a barn burner for sure.
Well, definitely going to be a fascinating one. Of course, the only place you can catch that is here at Slow Motion Broadcasting. And hit the subscribe button to stay up to date, and they get notifications of when we go live here at the channel. Well, congratulations, second place. I was going to move you out of the Discord channel, but I don't need to do that. It's all a bit weird. Oh, this feels a bit odd. I don't know. Yes, so that is us done. Wow. I mean, crazy race, but no different to anything that we normally come to expect.
No, and it's been quite a bit of fun this year running with these guys. We've gone across 2 disciplines now, and it's something that it's probably going to get a little better as we start rolling into the dirt ovals and the dirt roads, which I know are your favorite, Tim, the dirt ovals. So, yeah, we still have plenty of racing coming to you from Cross Series League Racing. Going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, tracks like Limaland, for example. It's Limaland, apparently. The same way that it's Kansas and Arkansas. There we go. On that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you very much for joining us. I've been Tim Cox with Adam Thompson. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you soon here at Slow Motion Broadcasting.
Bye-bye.